Alright, hello everyone, can anyone listen to me? Alright, yeah, I'm gonna take that as a yes. I'm going to also... Yeah, I forgot I forgot to set the audio from the Discord.
Well, someone was asking if Undertale Harmony was removed, because I'm not seeing it there
It's because it's a little down here.
Oh, it's cropped.
Yeah, because you know the screen isn't large enough for all of them.
Alright, the audio's up.
Alright, yeah, I think they're gonna listen to me though, so...
Are we gonna have any music in the background, or is this gonna be our voices?
I guess I could put some music, but like... True. Alright, yes, I need to capture the audio from the computer. Try speaking.
Do you want me to
Yep, there we
hit
go.
the?
There we go.
You want me to hit? You want me to hit send now to let people know that this is going on before it actively gets started, and we're just
Yep.
like, oh hey, we are setting up. Okay, I will do it.
That's right. That's right, everyone. We did it. We are finally Undertale.
I can't believe Undertale real. I
Can't
guess.
believe Deltarune, Undertale.
I guess I'll reblog on the Inverted Fate blog too, because I think you did a Tumblr post. Yes, you did. I will reblog.
Yeah,
it.
actually, I haven't actually linked to it. Shit, I need to. Man.
I can maybe in my reblog be like, oh hey, hi, I exist.
Are you sure?
Man.
When's the last time you checked
Don't you
that?
love coming to the Undertale AO live stream just to like, you know?
I
Yeah.
reblorbed it on Inverted Fate, so
Oh no,
that's
just
good.
just put everything in F tier. Why even do a stream?
You got a good point though.
Yeah, just put it all.
Yeah, so I guess which AU are we gonna start talking about?
But I mean, I guess we need to make like a proper, introduction.
Oh yes, of course. FMS, you're first. You're the host.
Of course, as I say, FMS, the guy with opinions, who sat down and watched and read like over 20 AUs just for this thing. So
He's
you gotta know my opinion is correct.
He's also the CEO of Keras, so yeah.
Yeah, that's a very professional title, I have to say.
I am the CEO of Undertale tier lists. I think I haven't seen anyone else do a video.
All right.
Now
Do we want to grab some random? Oh yeah, I'm Dorked. I created Inverted Fate, which is a very AU that is still going, and yeah, it's cool. We got sprite comic, we got animation, we got playable stuff. We're neat.
I'm Tyrone. You've never heard of me and you never will.
Damn, who are you then?
I'm Sans.
Damn.
Wow, I can't believe we have the real Sans Undertale.
You have the real Sans Undertale on the stream?
That's right.
Incredible.
I got the budget, Well, alright,
Yeah.
so how did you all choose these AUs? Okay, so when I was, first making the tier list, I was mostly making it off of what I've read, And, I included some that I didn't get to fully read until now, that I sat down for this. But generally, I just grabbed the bag of what I liked and some of the more popular AUs.
Oh gosh, we're not putting Dusttail in S. I'm sorry to any Dusttail fans in attendance. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be an S rank.
No, you don't get it, though. It's going to be on the Super S tier,
It.
Yeah. So,
Some of these were my suggestions, like Bedlump, which is, of course, S+, thank you.
True, though.
Naturally.
Of course, we gotta put Bedlamp on S. Okay, now we're not gonna do that
Well,
yet. I mean,
Yeah.
we can do it, but not right now. I
We
wonder
must
if the stream is
discuss
getting
them.
delayed. I'm not really sure myself.
For my suggestions. It's by a little, but I think that's unavoidable.
Yeah, true. Like 1-to-1. Like imagine the stream goes so fast it goes in the future.
Yeah.
Gosh. But alright. So I've posted it on Twitter, but I haven't posted it on Tumblr yet. So
I reblogged on Inverted Fate with the video, but if you want to do a more formal post,
I'm gonna
fine.
reblog it myself. Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna reblog it.
Cool. Yeah, we're just getting set up before we start. Do we want to put on some random music and be cool?
Right. I'm gonna put on Snowden, I guess. I mean, then again, I don't have Purity bought here, so I guess we'll just have to make do with whatever I pull up from YouTube. So I'll put until Snowden. Yeah.
Man.
There we go. I put
Music.
it a low volume just so people can hear it still. All right. Okay, so
All
let's
right.
see. Separate mandatory joke tier from that lump. Okay, now we're not gonna do like joke tiers. I mean, we gotta look at this purity of this tier list. Like,
Yeah,
we can't-
look at those. It's so pure.
Yeah,
Exactly, we
I
can't
think
just-
I think this is a fairly serious tier list.
of course, because our tier lists are, we're doing the objective tier lists here.
We don't make jokes.
Exactly.
FMS, if you're not sure what music to put on, just put on the Omori OST or something.
True, but like this is an Undertale stream, so we should put it like.
You mean Omori isn't an Undertale AU? I've been lied to this whole time?
I mean, to be fair, Amori Music does have like one Deltarune track, and one track by two. Actually, no, Deltarune has one Amori track, and we did made a song for Amori, so maybe it is
Oh, guess it checks out.
true.
Can't wait
In all
for...
seriousness,
funny
what about
person.
the Undertoad OST? Because that
True.
slaps.
True. Undertoad. Okay, Undertoad. What is
Man,
that? Well,
want Nintendo right on our doorstep, huh?
True. But I don't think the Luca is going to be too mad because
Fair enough.
I did work on Undertoad a while back when it was work going on. There we go.
Rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Yeah, Outer Tail doesn't really have much in the way of lore from what I understand. It was just aesthetic designs that picked up a lot of traction because they had cool designs. Kind of what happened with another AU that nobody really talks about anymore, Undertale. That was another aesthetic AU where they're all on the high seas and stuff.
You just took me back 1,000 years.
I've been in the fandom since 2015. I know the
I've
deep
been in the
lore.
fandom since since
Remember
1987. Just ever since
Yeah.
the bite, nobody was the same.
Ever since...
Yeah.
All
I will
right.
say, Undertale benefited from Papyrus Pirate, like the great Papyrate, good stuff.
Yeah, so we
Oh,
gotta put
that
it in
is-
S tier, even though we don't have it
Yeah.
in tier list. So we're just going to pretend Undertale exists and we'll put it on the S tier. But yeah,
Yeah, no.
Okay.
okay. So I guess we gotta start, right? So what?
Yeah, let's
Alright.
get going.
Alright. So what would you guys want to start with? Just
You want to just go in
Um,
order?
We can go in order. I think that's fine.
so I guess from which order? There's like many ways we could order this.
We could just go down as they appear in alphabetical order, I guess.
I guess.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Here, roll a dice. Every number.
Okay.
I
true.
think maybe we should just start with
Pull
Asphalt
out your
Royalty, because
D20.
that's at the top, and yeah.
Sure, we'll start with that. So, as following royalty.
Hmm.
Pretty
I
good.
like it. I do definitely think the Dark World segment is a bit where it struggled, but even Sam is aware of that, and that's why I think they're either removing it or drastically changing it eventually.
I'm pretty sure they're
I would-
going to make a game about it,
Yeah, I heard something about a fan game.
Yeah, I would put it maybe in B rank. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I
would say.
Okay, so I think like the flowy stuff that they have like later on is pretty strong.
Yeah,
Also,
I
like,
think.
the Dark World stuff, sure, it like really stumbles there, and I won't lie, but like I think like Dark World stuff was like the flowy stuff, and the whole reset bit was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think where Ask Fallen Royalty really excels is just in the conflict between Kara and Asriel, and also having a version of Asriel that keeps a lot of their Flowey-like complexities. And yeah, AFR, Asriel, believe is they, them, they, she pronouns, but
I mean,
very cool.
Yeah,
it was a really.
I think B overall.
I thought that was like a weird bit, but then it kind of made sense, and when I reread it.
Yeah, I think it was a cool direction to take the character. Like, nothing says that Asriel couldn't explore gender and stuff later, considering Azrael's already got the existential stuff going on from being a flower for so long.
This is true. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say B, but mostly because of the Dark World stuff bogging it down a bit. But the more recent things have been really good. I love what they did with Mew Mew.
True. Okay, I'll put an F tier for Fallen Royalty. Okay, no. Because, royalty fell. Like, we can't have that. Alright.
Oh, hey, to the people
I
joining
need
in.
to read the rest of it, but I got about 40 pages in, so
cool.
not bad.
So, what is Undertale Icons supposed to be? Okay, so, we might as well tackle it while people are asking. So, Undertale Alpha, as its friends know it, it's like one of the most surprises, like, it was one of the biggest surprises of, like, 2019, I think. I think it was 2019 when it came out. Yeah, I remember because, like, King for a Day was going on.
Yeah, it was either 2019 or maybe late 2018, but it was definitely while Inverted Fate was still on hiatus.
Yeah. I think this is generally, like, one of the best, like, sprite comics, period,
Yeah.
I think it's also just a really unique AU, because the thing with a lot of horror-based Undertale AUs is they tend to lean really hard into gore and violence and edge, but what made Undertale Alpha so unique is that its horror was very subtle and off-putting. Like, at first it was hard to tell what the AU was about, other than some very uncanny edits to the sprites that, like, had people freaking out and, like, analyzing every single panel. And that made it a really creative and memorable experience, just being there as it unfolded. I think definitely A or S tier for Undertale Alpha, because it really does succeed in what it sets out to do and makes for a very memorable AU.
I wasn't there when it was happening, but I found it after, when I was trying to read Ruptured Tale. It was a bit jarring, and I loved it and hated it.
Yeah. I think the one thing I have against it is, like, the swears. Like, like, they're, like, the swears kind of, like, break the tension a bit. Like, it's, like, it's really weird to read, like, fuck in an Undertale AU,
I think
like that would be the one thing against it that would keep it from S for me.
That's fine. I think A is still a really good place for it to sit.
Yeah, but, like, it also has different endings, so...
Yeah.
I think that also...
Yeah.
So, I think just the swears keep it down, but, like...
Yeah.
I think
High A... Yeah, S is good.
Yeah.
Let me grab Undertale Alpha. Is it in the Google Doc? I don't think it is.
Actually,
but I can...
How about we'll link to everything we add after we rate it? I think that would be neat.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't have it on me right now. Right, when you look, like, for Undertale Alpha on Google, you just get, like, the Undertale Alpha AU. Like, the one.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's very memorable.
Yeah, it's not the lithography.
I think swears in an Undertale AU need to be used very carefully. Like, with Inverted Fate, I had Mew Mew say shit at one point, but it felt fitting for that specific moment. Also, it was Mad Mew Mew. But it would be very different if it was, like, freaking, just to pick a random example, if Nat Stablook started dropping F-bombs or something, that would be very, very odd.
Right.
Let me, try... I don't know if I have permission to post link.
I'm going to post them myself. I found the link. So let me
Okay, cool.
So here's the link to Undertale Alpha.
Awesome.
For people want to check it out.
It's really cool.
All right.
I guess now we're on to... Oh boy, Undertale.
Right, Undertale.
Your favorite?
My favorite, of course. This is going on A tier, for Undertale.
Yeah, that is true. That is how the logic checks out.
Honestly, I will say full disclosure, I really, really, really do not like Undertale. The art is well drawn and cute, and I have nothing against its fans, but the problems I have with it are A, it's a personality swap AU, and that already is gonna knock it down several points for me, but also it straight washes Undying and that just really rubs me the wrong way. Like, the thing with Undertale is Alphys basically is shoved to the sidelines just so Undyne can be paired with Asgore, and then on top of that, the whole Toriel and Asgore are siblings thing feels like it was done solely so people can't ship Asgoriel in the AU, when I feel like if you're gonna make a Soriel AU, you don't have to make them siblings, you could just say they broke up. I mean, Deltarune proves that even in other dimensions where they aren't at war with humanity, they can get divorced, or maybe they just never started dating. It just kind of feels like the siblings thing was done arbitrarily because they replaced the Skeleton Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So
I would Oh, go ahead.
So, like, I think my thing with Undertale is, like, okay, so Chaos did, like, a really good post on it, like, a few years back, and, like, I feel like that still applies to this. Like, the fundamental issues, like, it has a lot of weird elements, but, like, it doesn't really justify them. Like, you know, how you said the Asgore and Toriel siblings thing, but also, like, they say that, like, Astral made them because handplates was popular at the time. And, like, I don't know, I feel like, you know, it has really poorly thought out elements, and, like, it never elaborate on them. Like, also, somebody said that there's no lore. There is some lore, and the issue is that lore is just not really that solid.
A lot of the lore is really random, and, like, another issue...
Might be better if it had less lore, honestly.
Also, Undertale is, like, the straightest Undertale AU I have seen, and I have nothing against, male-female ships, because I have several that I like, especially in Kingdom Hearts, but it feels like there's just a distinct... Everyone gets married and has kids that's an important character, except Alphys, and it especially doesn't sit well with me because Free Sands had once said, I believe, that she doesn't really find gay couples interesting. So, like, I don't want to go into personal attack status, but that's always gonna rub me the wrong way because that on top of the whole Undyne being with Asgore thing just...
Yeah, I feel like the thing is, right, if you're going to make Asgore and Toriel siblings, then why don't you make Sands of a Pirate's lovers?
No, oh my god!
No, that's the one thing that's pretty good. That's the one thing that's pretty, the saving grace, if you will.
I would say probably D or F is where I would put Undertale, but
I feel like D.
Alright, I'll put it on D tier. Alright, I'll put it on D tier. It has some redeeming qualities, like it has some funny things going for it.
Yeah, it's got some art that's good.
The art is nice, and like its existence is mostly harmless, minus the straight washing thing can be seen as iffy, but like its fans have a right to enjoy it. It's just decidedly not my thing.
Right.
Yeah.
We have that covered. Okay. So
amazing.
What would you like to cover, Tyrone? We have this whole list.
Bedlam.
Right, Bedlam. So,
So I'm thinking instant S tier is my vote for Bedlam. Instant S.
Bedlam is hilarious. I think S tier is totally fair because it's stupid, but in a really fun and memorable way that, like, it's just one of the most hilarious Undertale fan projects I've seen, between frickin' Slump the Skabump and what they did with Heat's Flamesman. That was comedy gold too.
Alright, everyone, the stream peaked. No, we're ending the stream here. Like, we put that lump.
Does anyone care about the rest of the ratings?
Exactly.
Yes.
We only came here for...
Put them all on F. We said it at the start. Put them all on F.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Alright, we're not gonna do that yet. But...
Okay,
alright, so...
Oh boy.
Let's do...
Caretaker's going to be an interesting one because FMS already knows I have a lot of issues with Caretaker, mostly just when I read it, my biggest gripe, other than I just really didn't vibe with Kara's characterization, was just the way the narrative kind of wanted to have its cake and eat it too, in that it was trying to paint Kara as a really abusive and toxic person who would go to these really violent things to get the human souls, but at the same time there would be these flashback comics that try to paint them in a softer and more sympathetic light, and like gag comics with Valentine's Day and stuff, so it's like some of the artwork done just spin-offs. It's sort of like it made it feel very tonally confused on top of Casriel just really making me personally super uncomfortable, but I
Right.
know other people
Right,
are...
so like here's the
more-
thing, right? Like for these tier list, I was just mostly focusing on the main story, and I think, at least for what it's worth, the main story of Caretaker of the Ruins is alright. I mean, it doesn't like here's the thing, right? It doesn't really like paint Kara on like a better light. Like the story knows Kara is abusive, and like it doesn't like paint them as as an alright person despite that. Like, Yeah,
I think, like for me, the biggest gripe I had, putting aside personal preferences and stuff, is like the way the story they left it on a cliffhanger, like with Frisk in the jail, and then for like years, Frisk was not shown again because they wanted to switch focus to flashback content about the previous humans and Gaster and stuff, and I think in terms of the pace at which the story was initially released, that really made for really sluggish pacing, if that makes sense. Well, I think if you had read it in chronological order, and I don't know if that's what you did,
I did.
that
Yeah.
probably... So, like, that would have definitely impacted how someone experiences it.
I still have not seen the ending. I stopped reading when Frisk went in jail.
Damn.
I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but I don't know what happens after that.
Right. So like, what I like is that it gives some spotlight to like Napstablook and like Metaton as well, like right after, because they're human fans, and they go with Frisk and they let them free. Like I think it's really like the story is really interesting if you can stomach like the beginning part. I think the emotional payoff at the end is like really solid.
I can at
that's
least
fair.
respect that Asriel said screw you and like broke off the relationship.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's not only because I don't like Casriel, but also I think that that's a better resolution after having this abusive thing going on, that the victim of the abuse gets to stand up for themselves and be the one to cut things off.
Right.
I kind of stand psychopath Kara. I think that's fun.
Yeah. So.
Don't read too much into that. It's just you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you mean. At least I would say that Caretaker of the Ruins did it okay. Like it was at least somewhat sensible about it.
Yeah.
So where would you put it? I guess is the
It seems
question.
like a B or C.
Yeah, B or C sounds about fair. Like, putting
Seems
aside
like that's
personal
what it says.
preferences. Yeah, putting aside personal biases and stuff that make me more critical. If we're going off of just, like, someone doesn't really care about all that stuff, B or C seem reasonable enough. Definitely better than Undertale.
Yeah.
I like Ask Fallen Royalty more on a personal level. I guess it really depends on what you're looking for in a story, though.
True.
I think C is more fitting, but C for Kara.
Yeah, true.
C for Caretaker.
True. You make a good
Check
point,
that.
but also I think. How about I put it to Paul? Maybe put whether B or C, because I think you two are kind of split on this. I think it's a B at least.
Yeah, I think
Fair.
it's really gonna boil down to personal preferences, because if you're someone who is uncomfortable with, like, having Casriel and having more sexualized content of these characters,
But
as
there's
well
no-
as just...
There's not. Look, we're just looking at
It
the
seems-
main story, right? And there's none of
I'll
that.
say the chat seems to be in favor of C, but
Yeah.
Right.
C for chat.
Okay.
C for chat.
I guess we'll put it on C then.
Alright.
Fuck, I put it on B on accident. Okay. So let's see. What else should we tackle? Chisk.
Chisk
I don't
is
know,
a
just-
really hard one for me, because, like, it's a fun, cute concept, but it also doesn't really have much more going for it to get personally invested in for me being a story person. Like, it's harmless. It's not bad. It's just really simple, and because of that simplicity, it's kind of like... It's charming, but it's also not very deep.
True.
I'm seeing a C for Chisk, I think. That's my opinion.
But is
Yeah.
it better than Caretaker of the Ruins?
Not really.
My bias
Much-
self says yes, but
Much like every opinion Chisk ever has, I think it's straight in the middle of the line.
I mean that does fit the whole discomfort
Yeah.
vibes with just. So yeah, there are going to be some AU that don't show up in this list because we just didn't have time to go over every single AU under the sun. So like,
Also,
Songfell.
what Songfell?
Gisdale is basically the idea that Frisk and Kara are fused into one character. It's kind of more of a concept than an AU.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And they're
think
just a very uncomfortable child because one of the kids is telling them to be kind and everything, the other one's telling them to kill. And, just very confused,
What was
awkward kid.
That's an unexpected guest.
It's the comic with the Gaster Blasters.
That one,
I
right.
haven't read it. I know the creator from some servers I'm in, and the art is really good. One of these days, I really gotta sit down and read it because I've heard really good things.
Yeah,
I don't even know what
remember
Songfell
This is
is.
the first I've heard of it.
True.
Is it even on the tier list?
It's not.
It's not on the tier list.
Like, I only put days that we would sit down and read, so yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Alright.
Core
I could.
Frisk.
Score.
Core
Okay, S
is
tier.
interesting. I mean, obviously, host has some preference. I think Core Frisk is neat. Like as a concept, there's some cool stuff going on, and I appreciate that as far as outcodes go, Core Frisk isn't like super attention grabby, powerful type. Because so many people, when they make their outcode OCs, they like make them so powerful they can create and destroy AUs at will, and they can totally derail an AU story. Whereas with Core, it's like Core mostly just vibes and sees things, and also there's the whole tragic element of their character getting freaking yeeted because they abused the saving and loading too much, and now they're just kind of vibing.
True. So I think I would put them on. I mean, I think here's the thing, right? I think Core, like, in their comics is executed well. The only issue is that nobody else seems to care about them. Like, I think actually here's the thing. Like, I think outside of, like, Poppy's story and whatnot, like, people just don't know how to use Core. But then again, we're not looking at, like, how everyone else used it. We're looking at the raw materials.
Yeah, we're looking at the original creator.
Yeah, I think the thing with Core is that people know of Core Frisk, but they don't, like, read the lore, which, honestly, that happens to most AU crossover stuff, which we'll probably talk about when we get to Villain Sand Squad, but...
Another burst, too, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Alive is good. Alive is fantastic. I have lots of good things to say about Alive when we get to it.
We'll get to Alive.
I think I'd put them on A or S. Just...
Yeah, A or S sounds fair, because the thing is, Core is an iconic AU character, and one who, like, based on the baseline content alone, I don't really have any particular complaints other than personal disagreements with the whole Gaster being forgotten thing, which, honestly, to be fair, was accepted as canon for a long time.
Actually, the thing with Core is they were forgotten not because they just fell into the core, but because they reset, so... Like, it was as they fell. So, everyone just forgot them because they were trying to reset as they fell.
Okay, that helps too, because the thing with Gaster is the whole forgetting thing is up to debate in terms of the actual canon, but is very accepted within the fandom. But yeah, I think Alive is a really cool AU that involves some AU versions of Alphys, Metaton, Sans, and Undyne.
Wait, we gotta decide where Core goes first. A?
Yeah. I think
A or S?
A or S. I would say wiggle room. We can always adjust Core's placement later if we feel it's necessary.
True. Alright, we'll put them on A for now. Soon, I process child. Okay, Dreamtail.
Dreamtail. Personally, my thing with Dreamtail is the base concept and world building, I think, is cute. It could work as like an original storybook, but the fact that it's tied to Undertale and the fact that Dream and Nightmare were specifically based off of Underswap Sands is very immersion breaking to me, and I just don't personally vibe with that. I think I would personally maybe put it under C, or maybe a high D. C or high D.
Well, somebody asked why not have catastrophic endeavors.
We're not gonna put an AU on the tier list that plagiarized multiple comics, entire lines of dialogue.
Dark, you can just say like the AU doesn't exist anymore, so.
They stole from you. They stole from me. They stole from Lucas. They stole from Chaos and Claire. And while Worlds did eventually own up to all this, it's just we don't want to put an AU like that in the tier list.
True, and I can't read it anymore, so it's kind of moot point. And then again, you could say the same about Underswap, but we'll get to Underswap when we get there. But yeah, Dreamtail, I think, I couldn't really like. Yeah, I think. Look, here's the thing,
like,
right? If the main two characters were in Sans, nobody would care. Like it wouldn't be an Undertale AU at all. We're not for the the fact is
I don't get it. Why is it?
Yeah, it's like because apparently the mother of Reem and Nightmare saw Underswap Sans need I stress, right? And
yeah, it was very odd. Made two children look like Underswap Sans, but they're not literally Sans. I think it just would have worked better as an original story, but I understand that when you're making original content, it's a little bit unnerving because you don't know if it'll pick up, so tying it to a fandom can kind of work as a Trojan horse. So, I don't think it's a bad AU, I just think it's kind of meh.
Yeah, and also I think the thing with Dreamtail is because the reason it got so popular was because at the time the fandom was huge on crossovers. Not saying that it isn't anymore, but people were super open to the ideas, and because Nightmare and Dream were Sans that had potential for other stories, people just kept using them for other stuff, and then just they grew popular because they were used in other stuff, not necessarily because of their own merits, I feel. And I'm pretty sure nobody reads Dreamtail or Core. But I think the base story itself,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be an Undertale AU. I think C is fine. Also, or if they were gonna make it an Undertale AU, at least make one of them a Papyrus.
Yeah, there's too much. There's one too many Sanses.
Personally, I would give it a D for Dreamtail.
True, but I'm not ready to say that it's worse than Undertale, or in the same level. At least it has, it's a decent story by itself. I mean, granted, the second part, which is going to be animated, has been in development for years. And probably that's going to tell you more, but I haven't, I looked at the current story content that's whole.
I didn't even know that it was gonna come back in any fashion, but
sure,
can't wait.
But yeah, that's at least what. How do you say, Extha says. They're a friend of mine. They're a huge Dream Sans fan.
Alright.
Also, I guess that's what the point of them. Okay. That was a very easy joke.
Okay, so Dreamer Reborn. I would say maybe, for me, it would be an A tier. Very iconic, has some great stuff, but because it's incomplete at this time and just some personal preferences, I would put it a little lower than S tier, but still very good.
Right.
The Kara fight is still holds up. Just wish we eventually get to see that the end.
True.
Yeah, I hope Fats is doing okay.
Yeah.
I heard that he fell on some pretty hard times for a while. And so that was part of why updates haven't happened. I need to ask Nora, if she knows what's going on with the end.
True.
Yeah, I think a high A is perfectly fair for a Dream Reborn. Plus A for Asriel.
True. I think Asriel. For being the first. I mean, I should put it on B because of Dream Reborn. It's because why people associate Megalo Strike Back with Kara. Actually, I'll just put it on F tier. Okay, no, I'm joking. But yeah, I would say Dream Reborn is pretty good. It still holds up. With Corvus, right? Corvus and Dream Reborn, they still hold up despite being ages old.
Oh, what did Fats say on Twitter? Apparently he came back a few months ago. Now I'm really curious about that. But while we wait, Epic Tale. I've read a lot of it, and honestly, I think it's pretty neat. I like that it's got really great action scenes. I appreciate that it actually uses the wider Undertale cast, which can be a thing that other AUs lack. Metaton gets to look cool, and he gets to wear glasses, which makes him look cool.
I would describe Epic Tale as Undertale if it was even more anime.
Yeah.
True. Anime in a good way,
Yeah,
in a good way, like a One Piece anime,
Yeah.
Epic Tale is on a.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you.
I was gonna say Epic Tale is unabashedly fun, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It just has a good time, and it's embracing its over-the-top nature. and has some interesting conflict going on despite that over-the-top nature, and also everyone gets to be really cool, and Papyrus gets to ride on a giant dog.
Yes, so just because of that, we gotta put on A tier. Or
Yeah, I think definitely A tier
A-tier at
is...
Make sure, maybe like, have you read the whole thing? I'm fairly certain, like, at least.
I'm really far... Before the stream started, I got up to page... after I got to continue.
Oh, to continue.
So I'm really... So I'm pretty far in
Yeah.
Epic Tale now.
I mean,
I did not do
and
really
also,
enough research.
and also Sans dice, so you know that's an instant S tier.
Oh, well, yeah, instant S. I mean, just put that straight up there.
Gosh,
Epic Sans.
sure. Yeah, but I
Oh
mean,
my gosh, Deacon.
what does it say? Damn, I'm going to cry, Deacon. Just absolutely.
Oh, no.
Cry and
Oh, no.
I think...
I guess we gotta put Undertale these sides here. Okay, no.
I think part of why we left Helptale out is that it was canceled a long time ago, and while it definitely was a very formative AU for the horror sprite comic scene, it's just been such a long flippin' time that... And also the state of Helptale right now with its fan continuation is kind of nebulous, so it's just a little bit harder to judge
Yeah.
Helptale.
I mean, the comic is there. I just generally forgot about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I forgot
generally
to
just-
mention it.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I probably would include it in the tier list if I remember it.
Sometimes we just forget things. We're humans.
Yeah, I would have also mentioned Off-Tail simply because of the fact that it's one of the only sprite comics that has, like, completed its entire story, multiple runs. Like, there's definitely issues with Off-Tail, but considering that it did pacifist, neutral, and genocide runs, and 2 endings, despite those production issues, it's a pretty impressive feat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, small.
I'll put.
Oh, I didn't...
I'll put.
I think Fallen Flowers updated pretty recently. Let me...
I'm pretty sure
Because-
it's pretty sure it's on hiatus at the moment, but like.
I don't think it's dead. Let me check the blog of the creator.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but
Wait,
like,
that...
Yeah, I think Epic Tale is just like an A tier at least. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's
Error
pretty good.
Sans. So, Error Sans, my man.
Ah, it's him.
The him.
I think if we're just looking at the Ask Error blog and ignoring
one?
all the really dumb stuff the fandom has done with Error, I would say C maybe. Just like the core concept at the Ask Error blog is pretty solid. Not for me, but I
Yeah.
think B or C is fair enough.
Yeah, but is it better than Caretaker of the Ruins?
I personally think
I'd
so.
put it on the same level, but I enjoyed the S blog a lot. I thought it was pretty fun for what it was. It didn't try to be that edgy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a lot of stuff. A lot of the ways people treat him is edgy, but the actual source material isn't really that bad.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. You know. Alright. Alright, error has been placed. And now everyone can leave. Oh god, to be
Yeah.
because of that placement, I think. Or maybe they just.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's fair.
Epic Tale is honestly not very Sans-centric at all. Sans is there, but he also doesn't really take a ton of spotlight. If anything, Gapter and Chris are more central to the story, and also Kara.
And also Toriel.
Yes, and also Toriel.
Let me
Toriel
just
is
let me
awesome.
just paste the link to Epic Tale. Yeah, Jugo is Jugo made a really good idea with Epic Tale. I think it's just like really good.
It's cool.
All right. God, when I hear error, I think of Plankton. God, somebody tells.
Do you want to follow that up with the other?
Yeah,
Ah.
fresh sense. Okay, so here's the thing about fresh sense, right? In terms of care, like it's a weird thing. I'm pretty sure there was like an '80s blog about him. Actually, a friend of mine showed me a while back. But like, here's the thing.
He had a blog, but didn't really do much.
Yeah, I think Error is Fresh is more interesting character than Error, but like he's not. He doesn't have an origin, right? Like he just sort of exists.
He does kind of have not. I mean, it's left vague, but he's some sort of parasite that was created.
Yeah, well, the thing about Fresh Sands is he began his life as a shitpost. Basically, Dippy Fresh was a thing, and so Crayon Queen drew Fresh Sands as a joke, and that joke eventually became a more serious thing with the whole parasite stuff. And then eventually, Fresh
to Parasite, to Emotions Parasite.
Fresh stopped being a Sans after a while, but he still looks pretty Sans-like, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd say C rank is fair. Like, it's a funny concept, but beyond that, there's not really a lot going on.
But is it better than Dreamtail?
I personally think so because it's funnier and doesn't take itself nearly as seriously.
True.
And while it is still not super related to Undertale, it's just kind of like, I don't know, I just think Fresh is just funnier and has a bit more charm.
We feeling B tier then?
Right.
C's fine.
Right.
Okay.
Also, let's see.
Actually,
we didn't put it
I
on the tier
should've-
list. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. The thought is really cool, though, and the art is gorgeous, and I think it's one of the AU projects that use the concept of the player the best, along with Alive. Because the thing with... the Thought, the one with Sans Seraphim, or Toucan Sans, the one where Sans absorbs the human souls and turns big, and there's some funky stuff going on. Yeah, it's a pretty cool AU.
One.
Yeah, if it were on the list, I'd probably put it in A or B. Definitely an iconic one.
Yeah, but like we'll get to it when maybe if we do another tier list stream. Okay, I'm gonna touch my own worship because I'm obviously biased. I would probably just, there's person caretaker, So I'll put it at the end maybe. But maybe you two could get to a consensus.
I think Frisky Caretaker is a very simple but very cute AU. It set out for what it needed to do and had a really unique art style and just was very wholesome. I would say maybe a B tier for Frisky Caretaker.
With that whole wholesome thing, I'd like to remind you, there was a crow cult for no reason.
That's okay. Crows are cool. Crows are our friend. That's what
the cult propaganda wants you to believe, but...
Look, if you feed crows, crows will give you presents. Crows are legit chill. I think the crows alone definitely catapulted above C tier, even though crow starts with C. The crows lift the AU with their majestic wings and place it in the B tier.
Okay, I guess... Well, what do you think, Tyrone? Because I'm not allowed to give my opinion on this.
I'd put it in B tier. Feels, it was fun. It was not that long, but it did good. It had a crow cult for no reason. I'm still not over that, but it's a fun story. You got Frisk being sad and happy.
Also, you are Skill. There wasn't a crow cult. There was a scarecrow cult.
Okay, so people asking, where is insert AU here, please keep in mind we didn't have time to scour for every AU under the sun, so, if you're looking for Aftergore or stuff like that, Aftergore has great music, but the lore is something that I believe you have to, dig through the server and the descriptions to really get to.
Yeah, and this stream would be a lot longer if we, include everything we could possibly find.
Yeah, maybe we could do some honorable mentions later for AUs that we didn't have time to include, but are still neat.
Maybe you could just do another stream later down the line.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, maybe we could do maybe next month or something, or just kind of depends whenever we feel like it.
Tier list livestream 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
this is probably the one that's going to tick people off. I just have a feeling because of how popular it is.
No, we would never anger anyone.
Exactly.
Okay, so, disclaimer, Glitchtail. I commend the effort that goes into making so many long animated videos, because some of them are over a half hour long, and that's a lot of work, especially for just one person animating. So I can respect the production value. I just can't stand the writing in Glitchtail, especially with the fact that Alphys is fridged, and, in the same episode that she has her first speaking role, she's killed off by Undyne, and, all this while Gaster gets to do all the important science and exposition stuff. And to me, it just really sat poorly with me, because Gaster is just an Easter egg in Undertale, whereas Alphys is a main character, and yet they take this science main character and make her so irrelevant while making Gaster super duper important to everything. And then, like, killing off characters like Sans and Asriel just to bring them back while Alphys remains fridged. I don't know. For me, personal biases and frustrations with how Alphys is treated in the fandom were always gonna score it low for me.
Alright, S tier.
I would say, just my personal ranking, I would put it in D because I have so many issues with the writing, but I can at least commend the production work, but definitely not a high ranking if it were me.
You know, I could... Okay, so here's the thing, right? With Livestream. Like, I think... Okay, it's definitely like an S tier. Okay, no, I'm joking. But, like, I think the production value is good, but, like, there's, like, really baffling story decisions. Like, the fact they kill off Frisk just to replace him with Kara is just, like, a really weird story move that, like, just, like, completely ruins the ending. And,
Well,
like,
it also
I can also, like, comment that it got to the ending, but, like, it was a really bad ending, honestly.
Well, the thing about the ending is, like, it kind of makes the whole Switch and Kara Frisk feel meaningless, because if memory serves, wasn't Gaster the one who ultimately resolved everything?
Actually, well, here's the thing, right? Ultimately, it is Kara who resolves who defeats Hate. The final boss of the whole thing. But, like, the thing is, it doesn't feel satisfactory because, like, what the hell does Kara have to do with anything that's with the Hate? Because that was Frisk's fault, and, because they killed off Frisk, like, we can't have that cathartic moment where, like, I don't know, Frisk is like, I've done away with you, or something like that.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre because, like, it feels like this could have been resolved with Frisk and Kara becoming the protagonist, while Frisk pieces out didn't really change that much.
Frisk piecing out just completely ruined any chance of, like, I don't know, it's just like it really ruined, like, a potential emotional moment at the end, Like, I feel like Kara being there, like, they served their purpose in season 1, which, I wouldn't say, like season 1 is already, it's just like a typical, save the goat bro and Kara fanfiction or something, Like,
yeah,
it just feels like killing the character that you've been following for
hours of videos. Like, on one hand, good for Kara fans, but on the other hand, it does make the narrative cohesion feel very funky in the end.
Yeah, I think okay. I would say also the OCs, like, they're good they're decent characters, but, like, they don't really, I don't know. Just feel like they were just built for the plot, and I mean, of course, every character is made for the plot. That's just how writing works. But I don't know, they just didn't really stand out to me. Like, the only good character is Jessica. Like, for Jessica, I would probably be able to put this on C tier.
Yeah, I think Jessica was the saving grace, but then they killed her off. So, like,
true.
And the other thing is, like SKL just said, scenes drag on forever. I can totally admit to that because, full disclosure, I haven't seen every single episode because I just haven't had time, and I've had to, like, read up on some things that happen, so FMS knows more than me. But, like, one beef I had was that one of the episodes that I do remember watching before I kind of fell behind was just, it was a lot of standing around and talking without a lot of narrative progression, and breather episodes are important after you've had a lot of intense action, but to me it just felt like a pretty empty, nothing episode.
Yeah. I just think overall, okay, where would you put it? I think I would put it just on C tier, at least it has some redeeming characters, and, like, the battle scenes are at least a bit cool. Like, I couldn't put it, like, on the same tier as Undertale, because Undertale just kind of has nothing.
I
did the...
Definitely above Undertale. Definitely above Undertale. I think low C is fair just because of the writing problems. And that's fair to the fact that it does have a lot of really good production values.
I think D. I'm harsher.
True. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Chad, what's your opinion on the matter?
I mean, look, it's cool that a lot of work went into it, but just listen to yourselves. You've only said, like, one good thing about it this entire talk.
I would say Glitchtail is at least more tied to Undertale than Dreamtail, so it has that going for it.
Yeah. At least you could, at least you could say that, it's Undertale, Well, it's It's a really shallow view of Undertale, but it's a view of Undertale nonetheless.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Crowdspur.
Growth Spur.
S tier.
Good AU. I think definitely at least A. I honestly like Growth Spurt a little bit more than Dreamer Reborn, although Dreamer Reborn is still pretty chill. I just think that Growth Spurt takes advantage of Asriel's flowy baggage more and does more interesting things with Asriel's person because of that.
Yeah.
Because it actually
Spurt is good.
Yeah, it's really solid. I'm not sure how I feel about the way they handled Kara, but I do like a lot of what it does for Asriel, and also the bit with Toriel and Asgore was genuinely really interesting and respectful to both characters, which was nice.
Actually,
And they did.
Okay, yeah, maybe I could just keep it like this.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to like sum it properly so it looks a bit better.
The two Asriel bros. Handplates is definitely hard for me to rank because I haven't read all of it. I've read some of it and seen some of the chapters. Like, I thought the Asgore stuff was pretty neat. I like that it actually treats Asgore with dignity, so that was cool to have.
Yeah. Honestly, I really like handplates. I know that's contentious for a lot of reasons, but like for what its reputation is, a lot of work put into it. There's a lot of great art. Honestly, the stuff after the Sands, why did I say Sands? Sands of Pirates Escape is better.
Yeah.
It's almost more important than what happens when they're in captivity.
Yes.
And
Yeah, my biggest gripes with handplates are more just like some of the headcanons and stuff and play with its lore. Like the whole Kara not actually being a character type thing is not something I personally jive with, but that's personal preferences, and it's Zarla's comic, so they're totally chill with doing their own thing in that regard. There are still some really unique and creative things for it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's contentious, but I would put it in S.
I would put it in B, personally, just because there's some lore and characterization stuff I personally think are a little iffier, but it's still a good fan work overall. And it's definitely iconic.
Yeah.
Like, the way Papyrus is portrayed in handplates, I just personally didn't care for. Maybe he got better in the later chapters, I hope so, because there was just some stuff with Pap that I felt like he wasn't given as much agency or competency as he could have had.
That's fair.
Alright, we put it on... I think I'll put it on B tier on top B. Just...
Yeah, for now, I think
B
that's
for
fair.
bones.
yeah. Okay, Horror Tale.
Horror Tale's an interesting one
Horror
because,
Tale
like...
is bad.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Straight up.
right. That's right. I'm spitting. Like, look,
Yeah.
Okay.
look. I get like the art style is great. It's the kind of like Lich Style. The art style is great. The story is bad because fundamentally,
Yeah,
it's just a stretch like from beginning to end. Like, it's like it has good like it's written decently, but like the story overall is just really weird. Like, it hinges on the idea that like the core is like the food source for all the monsters on the underground, and that just kind of doesn't make sense when you think
That
about it.
doesn't make sense. Well, my thing is that I think Horror Tale's biggest problem is that it tries to hinge itself on the Undertale neutral ending, which I think creates some weird plot baggage, whereas if it were just an AU that's more Burton-esque and spooky and didn't completely try to root itself in Undertale as a starting point, I think it would have a little bit more wiggle room in terms of its story holding itself together.
Yeah.
Also not super big on what happened to Alfie's, because of course I'm going to be the person to be like, oh no, Alfie's, like, it's definitely fitting for a horror AU, but also it just really makes its Sans super hateable, which might have been the point.
Yeah.
Maybe, but like it's still just not that good.
I would say maybe a C or
I'd put
a
it-
higher C.
I would put it below.
Higher C or B.
I would put it on D. Generally,
Dang.
like I just like at least Dreamtail is mostly harmless. Like I could read it, but like Horror Tale is just like a harder sell. Like I love the aesthetic. I love the tone it's going for, but the story, man. It's just a really.
That's fair.
It's just a
Putting
really.
it below Glitch Tail.
Okay, so
Okay,
yeah, you make a
Scale's
good
asking
point.
about I would put it above. I would put it above Dreamtail personally, but I also totally respect that for you it's a D. As also regarding Alphys, basically TLDR, they have this whole thing where Sans' eye could basically repower the core and save everyone, and so they had to get Sans to basically sacrifice his life for the greater good. Sans was like, yeah, no, freaking breaks the core when they were close to a breakthrough after they had stolen his eye. He just doomed everyone, and then he lobotomized Alphys because it was her idea, and it just felt really, really unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, it fit for like a tragedy thing, but
like
just
because it hinges on the Undertale neutral ending, it's just like you can't really it's really hard for me to justify some of the decisions it makes. So I'll just put it below Dreamtail. That's right.
Yeah, I would still say D might be a little harsh, but fair.
Yeah.
I don't think D is harsh, but I feel like you sure it's worse than Glitchtail?
Yeah, I like, okay, my full disclosure, I like Horror Tale more than Glitch Tale. Like, I could at least read through most of Horror Tale and be curious about what was going on. I think its lore doesn't really hold up, but it's still decently engaging.
Then again, Glitch Tale doesn't have, Horror Tale doesn't have Betty, so yeah, maybe I should put it on the...
Yeah, Horror Tale doesn't have Betty.
True, yeah, I'll put it there. Yeah. Now this makes a bit more sense.
I still think Horror Tale is better than Dreamtail, though, because at least Horror Tale has the Undertale setting characters. But again, this is all subjective.
Yeah, but I mean, Dreamtail is more harmless, I guess. That's one way of putting it. Well, let's see how quickly the chat blew up. Okay, yeah, nobody's out for our heads yet. Okay.
Yeah, so, nobody's out for our heads.
There are people who think it should be placed higher, at least a C. Because
personally, I'd place it higher, but it's your tier list, so
yeah.
True.
I would also place it.
You know, you need to make good. You need to convince me. That's the thing. I could put you an F tier, but you know.
I like it. It's spooky.
Well, like for me, Horror Tale has more of a story to get immersed than like Chisk Tale, and it's more tied to Undertale than Fresh and Dreamtail. So, like, for me, I would still... And, like, if we're putting Caretaker of the Ruins in C, which also gets really violent and dark...
Yeah, I'm not gonna act like Horror Tale is perfect, but you don't have to stretch your imagination that much to see how things ended up this way. It did a pretty good job placing it in neutral, and I think the whole thing with baggage is like, yeah, they are dealing with the falling out of what happened.
Yeah, I think that's the point. I think that's a better placement for a Horror Tale, just in all fairness, because this is a drawn comic that's been going on for a while, and it has tried to at least tie into some Undertale lore stuff, even if it doesn't always make sense.
Yeah. All right. That's Horror Tale figured out, I'd say.
All right, and now here's the one where I can't weigh in on the vote at all because I made
F
it.
Tier. That's right. I'm putting an F tier.
Yeah, well, something to go. F tier for Frisk.
True.
Ha ha.
True. Okay, for real.
Okay.
I think the thing, like, this has more content than the collective every AU down here. So, you know, just on that, I would put it on, like, S tier. But, you know, it also has good writing. So, you know, that it has that going for it. But then again, Frisk talks, so that's an F tier.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now.
F tier.
True.
F tier for Flower.
But is it better than Bedlamp?
I won't be mad if you put it below Bedlamp because Bedlamp has Rule of Funny on its side.
True.
Like, it depends. Like, it depends on what you're looking for in an AU in terms of how you want to rank the S, because like the AUs we're putting up in S are so drastically different in genre and intention. Like, with Inverted Fate, it's way more character-focused and story-focused, trying to just go out there and tell a bigger and more emotional story, whereas Bedlamp, it's there for fun, and Undertale Alpha is there to be spooky.
True. What do you say, Tyrone? Yeah. Is Inverted Fate better than Bedlamp?
No.
Fair enough. Okay, but you know, these are...
It's apples to oranges.
Yeah, true, but it's still really good, you know. But then again, Inverted Fate had like a lot of playable battles, so maybe I think I'll put it there. Okay, Ink
Meanwhile,
Sans.
Bedlamp had 0 playable battles,
True, but then again,
despite being a mod.
true. But then, like, if you fought Bedlamp, you would die instantly.
It's true. It's not even fair.
It would be like genocide round all over.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ink
Go
Sans.
6 beats.
Ink is a weird one for me.
Ink is like there's the base story, like the base backstory for Ink, but then like, so did you know Ink has like adoptive parents that are like 2 gasters? Like they never elaborate on that idea or like on any official comic or anything. That's just a thing that happens. I remember when
I think Ink Sans should go in F tier.
F for what? Ink.
I
Sans?
think-
F for
I think if we're
Rush.
being fair, Ink could probably go and C with the other random Sans adjacent things. Ink is just kind of meh to me. My problem is it feels like he would have been better off as just an OC, and him being a Sans just when he's really not like Sans
Feels
very
like
much.
second nature, yeah.
Really
At least-
seems like you should be right next to Dreamtail.
No, I
Yeah.
think I would put it above Fresh Sense because at least he has a backstory. Like
Yeah,
at least
well, the
there's
thing-
a reason for him to be and why he's
Yeah.
not that Sans. At least it has an explanation. Then again, Eric's explanation is much better, but you know, Ink also has one, so we gotta give it that.
Yeah, well, Ink also has the idea of a character whose very core conceit is just trying to protect fan creators' creative inspiration and trying to make sure that artist block and projects aren't canceled. I think, like, on a meta level, that's neat enough, and it still technically ties to the fandom. Just ignore all the people saying that Ink creates AUs, because that was never actually the
True.
case.
True.
That is true.
Okay, Marlet AU.
I think Marlet is. I would say Marlet
Cute.
is either a B or an A. I would say Marlet hasn't hasn't been around very long, but the little story comics and stuff are very cute and sweet, and it's just a really wholesome and pleasant
Loved
project.
F tier.
Marlet.
F for Frisk, who needs to come back and see Marlet. That's right.
Yeah.
But
Also,
A for a
the
goat.
SKL just does a really good job with production value, and the cutscene artwork in Marlet is really charming.
True.
I would say Marl definitely B for
I
me.
would put it over Frisk Caretaker, but is it better than Fallen Royalty?
I think for now, Fallen Royalty has more like meat to its overall story in terms of like character conflict and stuff, but Marlet still has some really interesting character conflicts going on
True.
and set up. The whole thing with Sans not really taking the whole parent thing seriously.
Yeah.
I feel like some interesting stuff could come from that later.
Yeah. Okay, so Monster Friends.
I think Monster Friends at least an A rank. I've read some of it. I need to catch up, but it's a really creative fan project.
I've also
and-
read. My favorite part by far is Detective Toad.
Yeah, so we
I don't
got
know his actual
Toady.
name yet, but
Toady.
Yeah, I would say somewhere in the A rank for Monster Friends.
Toady.
It's super unique, super refreshing.
I put it in
and
S
there's-
tier just because it's so unique. Honestly,
I
really
love-
like the only thing against it is been rebooting. It's been rebooting for a while. I think they started like with the Snowding arc. I read through the whole Ruins arc. I'm pretty sure like I also remember reading like a few of the Snowden bits. Like there was a few Snowden bits, but I didn't think they started with chapter 2 proper. But the Ruins portion is just
Yeah.
like really strong. Like it's
I'd put
stronger. I
Monster
would say
Friends
it's
in A.
stronger than. I would say it's stronger than Corfrisk and Epic Tale. At least.
Yeah, I think that's
Just-
fair.
just dang good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say at least high A, if not in somewhere in S is fair.
Yeah. If it's finished, it's gonna be S. You're right.
Yeah.
All
At the
right.
very least, we know Hattie is very passionate.
Inverted phase isn't finished, but you know it will be.
True. Until it's finished, it's going to be an F tier. Okay. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Madeline
Um,
Magic.
Madeline Magic is an A probably most people here haven't heard of, but it was a really creative and charming AU where, like, the underground, something has happened, and there are a lot of robots, and
I like
Blukey
Sans
is
the
a-
robot flower.
I really like what's going on with Blukey in Madeline Magic, as well as Papyrus. I'm so glad that Papyrus is prominent, though. The whole lore is very mysterious. I just wish it had more for it. I would say high C, low B, because I think it's at least more rooted to Undertale than most of what we have in C, while also being extremely creative and fun. It's not overly edgy. It gives Naps to Bluke a lot of spotlight, which is rare.
Yeah, but like there's not enough content. That's my thing. I'm pretty sure they started rebooting like a while back, so.
Yeah, I would say C. I personally would put it in high C because I like it more just based on what's out than pretty much everything in the C tier at this time.
I think. What do you think, Tyrone? Did you sit down and read it? Tyrone?
Tyrone got kidnapped.
Oh no, he's dead. Okay, everyone. I guess which one of you took him?
I'll tell my cat to be nice.
All right. I guess until Tyrone comes back to life, we'll put it on F tier. Okay, no. Wait, where did the icon go?
You
okay.
drop.
There it
It's
is.
between under. It's between. Yeah, there you found it.
I'll
Xtail
put it on C tier. I think I like Error a bit more.
Okay, fair.
I think just because Error has like a bit more. I mean, it wasn't finished, but I mean, neither was Madeline Magic, and I think Error just has like a bit more to it. I think just because the resolution that was explained just. I don't know. I think it was cooler. I mean, honestly, when with Madeline Magic, like between doing this and the next tier list, like Madeline Magic just gets like a huge buff.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Tyrone is back.
Oh shit!
back.
I realized I forgot to put new music. I'll put I'll put battle. I put the battle team for the turn.
All right.
Amazing.
Name the Fallen. I would say that's a solid B for me personally because it's already completed 2 of its runs and it has a really unique concept. And it actually takes Papyrus seriously, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'll say at some parts Papyrus seems almost too negative, even if there's lore reasons for that. But that's like my one complaint.
Yeah.
There is at least a reason for it, rather than just for the sake of it being more negative. And I do like that it actually plays with the Papyrus and Flowey friendship and makes that a pretty core focus.
I think I put it on high B, just generally.
Yeah. Name the Fallen is cool. I hope one day Anon J comes back and finishes the final run.
Yeah. So, Undertale.
Undertale is so hard to rank because it's purely just an aesthetic AU, but it's also really harmless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good aesthetic.
Yeah, but it's better than Glitchtail.
Yeah.
I would say
Because I'm not putting it above. I'm not putting it on C tier just because it's just aesthetics.
I would definitely rank it above Undertale at least.
I think Glitchtail has more effort behind it. Is the thing. So
Glitchtail does have more effort behind it, but I also like. It did what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
Be an aesthetic.
Yeah. I think Undertale pisses me off less than Undertale. So.
Yeah, that's fair because the thing is, Undertale it's got cute art, but it's got so many issues with like its writing and lore, whereas Undertale, at least, because it's so simple, it doesn't really have a lot of problems. It's just Undertale but space. Very simple.
So Rupture Tale.
I love Rupture Tale. I would put it in at least A. It's really funny.
At least A.
It's fun. Is it funnier than Name the Fallen?
I personally,
Yeah.
I think Rupture Tale is just also really unique. Jack is a great protagonist. I love his interactions with everyone. I love that it takes characters like the core mercenaries and gives them time to shine. The fact that the unused Robot 98s became a recurring set of characters.
Honestly, if you're feeling it, I think S tier for Rupture Tale.
Is it better than Route Sport and Reborn though? Is it better than Is it better than Epic Tale? I think that's the same.
I think that's a Rupture Tale and Epic Tale have totally different goals. It's a little hard to say. I personally am more invested in Rupture Tale than Dreamer Reborn. Just because I think I've been following it for a long time, and it's got a lot of creativity, and just there's nothing quite like Rupture Tale.
Right. Okay, so I think we'll just leave it at I think I'll leave it in A tier. I don't think it's, I just can't, I mean, it's really good. I'll give it, it's has the strongest comedy of any Undertale period. I don't think it's better than, I don't think, I just couldn't imagine better than, I mean, personal bias, right? I think it has more content than these two, but no, actually no. Epic Tale, Corpus has more content than Corpus, and the Rupture Tale also has more content. There, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, A is still really good.
A is a very respectable.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure Grounded. I think B, because it's a really good crossover AU, easily one of the best, tons of creativity and effort, but it also is so early in its story that I don't think it's quite enough to put it in a higher ranking until Jetty gets back to work on it. But it's still, for what is out there, really great production value. Tons of creativity, mixing Sonic and Undertale in a way that feels fresh and unique and respects the lore of Sonic.
Yeah.
And Undertale. Well, not, I mean, respects Undertale as a concept.
Yeah.
Also, it uses characters like Tikal and Silver and does cool things with them.
Yeah, and second, I think I'll put it in here.
Generally,
Lovey just.
That's a good, respectable place.
Actually,
generally
it's so early. Would you put it above Error or Madeline?
Yes, I would personally put it above Error because I just think it's more interesting and.
It's got an entire mini fan game.
True.
Also, based on the stuff that Juddy has shared about future chapters, I think it's got a ton of potential, and I really hope that it picks up again soon. But it's one of the high bars of crossover AU. When you consider how low quality a lot of crossover AUs tend to be, I think B is perfectly fair for what it represents.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not for Sonic Adventure Grounded fan time.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see. Scramble Saga, F tier.
I think B for Scramble Saga at the very least. Personal bias is A, but also because it ended just as it was getting really, really juicy, I understand that could dock at some point.
Yeah, I think here's
the
thing, right? It's really good. I know most of the but I sat down and read all the public content. And is it better than hand plates? That's my thing, right? Is it better than Has Fallen Royalty? As it is right now. Is it better? Either of them.
Nah.
I think putting it around Marlette is fair. I think as far as what is currently out, I like it a little bit more than Marlette, but Marlette is still really good and cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
also SKL says Scramble Saga Undyne, and yes, that is very true. Scramble Saga, the thing is, even though it's not very long, the things it does with its characters are so genuinely cool and creative. Like having two powers instead of just one. The whole mystery of why Undyne became so depressed while still feeling like this is a feasible direction Undyne could have gone as a character. Iris being super cool and his boss fight being really creative. And Kara, just fantastic version of Kara. Probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think I would put it on I think I'll put it on a solid. Yeah, but honestly, I think it's
good. I just wish
it's better than Marlette.
It's good. I just wish there was
more than Marlette. Yeah. Scramble Saga had some fan art crossing it over with Inverted Fate and Story Shift. It was art of Scramble Saga, Undyne, Inverted Fate Papyrus, and Story Shift Kara.
Right.
But there wasn't an official crossover.
Right.
Story Swap Color, I think, is at least low B. I think it's really cool. The Azrael fight was a lot of fun, even if it was super hard. The write-up has a lot of creativity, love the character design. It just feels like the most interesting version of Story Swap that has been released so far, and actually stays true to the Undertale characters without doing personality swappy stuff. So I'd say somewhere in B is a good
Story
spot
Swap Color is a joy, you know?
Is it better than Marlet?
That is really hard to quantify because the thing with Story Swap Color, it's got a super fleshed out battle and probably one of the most unique genocide fan battles out there, as well as having a really in-depth write-up, awesome character designs and stuff. But it's really hard to quantify because Marlet is an ongoing story with comics and
Story Swap Color, it'd probably be higher if it was like an actual comic, but even the battle's just really good. So I think mid to low B.
I'd put it a little bit above
right
Frisky.
on mine with this one.
I'd put it at least above Frisky Caretaker, although Frisky Caretaker is still good and very cute.
Alright, I guess, yeah, I guess you can put it there. I'm not allowed to opinionate on it. Like, I would personally just like, I'm not sure if I would put it like above, I would put it above Marlet because, there's the whole write-up and, the stories wrap, but,
I think that's fair for what's currently out, while still Marlet's sitting in a very good place, especially for a recently started project with a lot of potential.
Tantamount can be a F tier.
Yeah.
That's mean. Tantamount deserves better. I miss Tantamount.
Quick risk.
Oh gosh.
Look, I didn't put Tantamount on the tier list because, it might have come across a bit too self-serving, if I added it.
That's fair. I think if you were to have added Tantamount, we would have needed to add a couple more AUs, like Off-Tail.
Maybe we can put it like later down the line, like when we do
tier list 2.
Exactly.
Okay, so the other Story Swap.
Story Swap Blue.
Becoming more and more of a reality. With every pluses is that the character is a cutie.
Tyrone, you bugged out for me, or maybe that was just...
Yeah. Personally, I would put it as a high C. I have a lot of issues with the way it characterizes things, but the art is very pretty.
I feel like it's just slightly above Underswap. But I'm not sure, we haven't rated Underswap yet, so I'm not sure how.
Yeah.
I
I think low B or high C. I like it more than Ask Error. I personally like Madeline Magic more, but I also understand Madeline Magic's placement is pretty fair. I would say I like...
Yeah, I think I would put it there.
Sorry I broke up a bit. Kara's a cutie, but,
They don't really feel like Kara. And also, I'm just not big on the species swapping, like making Alphys a robot and Undyne a literal ghost fish. Just not for me.
Yeah.
Story shift, and we're ranking reboot, right, rather than preboot?
I think, we're ranking. I think we could just put this as a whole, because we're also saying the same for Null Magic. So I think we're just counting it as a whole.
Yeah, I think
because if I say it's going to be what people are going to say, but where would you rate the preboot?
I think
Story Shift is deservedly iconic. It started the whole sprite comic trend that we've been doing for years now.
Yeah, I think Story Shift at least high B, because the preboot comic was a bit rushed, but it still did a lot of neat things for its time, and then the reboot is genuinely really well written. I would say
better than Name the Fallen.
For the time, the preboot was... I'll say the preboot doesn't really hold up, but, it was the first one to really do it, so I think be a bit more lenient.
We are not remotely considering Facing Demons, because Facing Demons is not and never was canon to Story Shift. It was not made with consent of the creator of Story Shift, and really is super fanon. I understand that some people like Facing Demons, but it's just not really... It's not Story Shift, even though people associate with it.
I was considering adding Facing Demons, but then I was like, I'm not gonna put the Dorked. I play through it myself. If you want my opinion, that we'll have to make another tier list. The stream.
Yeah, tier list too.
I don't like how fan and stuff like that overshadows the actual AU, and then people get angry at the creator for being like, hey, no, please don't associate this with my AU. And so, yeah, I think that's a pretty good placement for Reboot Story Shift, because what's out is really good. I do think that because it's in a different format, it's not quite as accessible to people as it used to be, but also it's a way more understandable, because making sprite comics is hard, and I don't blame Vulture at all for changing in the direction because of the scope of the project would have probably been really hard to do as a sprite comic.
But is it better than Name the Fallen?
I think it really depends on what you're looking for in an
But,
AU.
like, here's
because
the thing, right? Like, you know. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Like, Name the Fallen has undoubtedly made more progress than Story Shift. You know?
Yes.
And I
Yes.
feel like
Yeah,
Name
but-
the Fallen has just more worthwhile content that, you know. Like, Story Shift
Yeah,
has
I-
good content, you know? Like, that's not saying that it doesn't. But, like, it's also, like, relatively early in compared to Handplates or Name the Fallen.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot for Story Shift, honestly. It's still a really respectable placement.
Yeah.
It's just that until we get more of the reboot story,
Right.
so yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, until we get more, it's going to stay there. So, Team Switch Underswap.
S tier.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely somewhere. I would personally rank it above Bedlamp because while Bedlamp is incredibly funny, PS Underswap as a fan game is just incredibly polished, has a ton of heart, tons of creativity. It's just easily the best version of Underswap.
Yeah,
Put it straight up there.
yeah, straight up S tier. Just the
Yeah.
demo
No
alone already
competition.
topples everything.
Directly to S tier.
Exactly. Okay, so Underfell.
I think at least A rank because the actual canon for Underfell that Vic has been putting out is really cool. I may not like what they do with Asgore, but a lot of it is just really refreshing compared to like a lot of the edgier fanon interpretations of Underfell. And I think the designs are really cool. I love the sad Mew Mew design. I love the way Grilby was actually designed. I think his official design is like green or something.
I thought it was purple, but yeah, might be misremembering.
Oh, he has two different color palettes, I think. Like one for during the day and one for after hours, I think was the gimmick with Grilby.
True. Okay, so
And
so low is it better than Corfisk?
I personally think there's just more meat to the way the AU is constructed right now, although Corfrisk is a really cool concept.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know enough about this to speak on it. Sad.
Okay. You didn't have
Yeah.
2 hearts.
Union of Two Hearts is really cool. I would say at least high B or A for
Is
Union
it
of Two
better
Hearts.
than Scramble Saga?
I'd give it a high B.
Yeah.
Uh,
I personally am more attached to Scramble Saga, but I do think Union of Two Hearts has the benefit of being a completed story. Like, for as short as it is, it takes the concept of what if Frisk took Toriel's soul and runs with it in a way that I feel hadn't been explored very much in the
Yeah.
fandom prior.
I don't quite like the way Asgore and Toil's drama is ran there. Like, you know, I get that the game kind of leans towards Toriel, but it seems like Union of Two Hearts goes back on that and just leans towards Asgore. And compared to how, like, Brokespert handled it, I think it's a bit weaker.
It's fair. I really do like, though, that Union of Two Hearts showed Asgore's angry and impulsive side, because sometimes people forget that Asgore, in a fit of rage, declared war on an entire species. Like, he had beaten the other humans to the point where they couldn't save and load anymore because they gave up. And yes, it is basically canon that the other humans could save and load. There's reset dialogue about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Asgore is a tragic character, but he also does have that anger. So I think definitely somewhere in the upper to mid B is
it
good.
better than Handplates?
I personally think so, but Handplates probably is the more iconic and longer, so it's kind of a tough one to judge.
Handplates is a lot more work went into it. It's a lot longer. Union of Two Hearts, of course, is just like one installment. It's a good installment, but it's one installment. I would put it as lower, but I cannot see the reasoning for putting it higher.
Yeah.
Is it better than
I
Scramble
think-
Saga?
Hmm.
Just yes
Again,
or no?
I would say in that it's a completed story, probably, but I also like Scramble Saga more personally because of just
Saga,
I
I love it.
Okay, I think I would put it down here with Source of
Okay.
Color because
that,
you know
that's a good
they're
placement.
both
Right.
complete,
Yeah.
but you know they're also just
Yeah.
Underswap F tier.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
So
no. Oh wait, someone had to go in F tier.
Full disclosure, I definitely don't like the original Underswap, but I would still put it above Dream and Fresh, and I would say, even if, like, I would put it above Chisktail, just because even if the core concept really doesn't jive, it does have really creative designs, and there was some interesting stuff going on with, like, the original intentions. It was just really inconsistent with what it wanted to be.
It never got anywhere, so I would say just on that end, it would be an F tier. Because it doesn't
Finally,
exist.
someone goes in F tier.
Because it doesn't exist anymore, is the thing. Like,
We have this tier, we better use it.
But we have other AUs that were canceled and still rank them higher, though, is the thing.
True, but here's the thing. At least they can be read. Undersub just doesn't.
But there are archival things of what the original blog had, so...
True.
And it can technically still be read. Like, the whole... Leo, I think, put together a really... It was either Demi or Leo put together some really thorough Google Docs that archived the original stuff, so technically it is still readable. I would put it above Undertale, even if I don't particularly care for personality swap.
I would put it over Undertale because I guess I guess it does have content with the archive.
Yeah, and the thing is, for as much as there are some iffy things with original Underswap, at least it doesn't straight wash Undyne.
Yeah, Undertale beats and pieces, guys.
Oh, Undertale beats and pieces at least an A.
It's top A. It's top A.
It's fantastic. I really enjoyed watching your playthrough.
Yeah, like, if maybe you can say that it's like, it's just a mod of Undertale, but it changes so much, it's fundamentally a new game. Like, it's
really well polished.
It's a new experience, you know?
I wouldn't quite call it fundamentally a new game, but it adds so much stuff.
I meant new
adds so much stuff.
It adds so much, and there's
it's
more
going to do so much more too, and I love it. I love how you can sit on the bench and it makes a squeaky noise.
Yes.
That alone's good.
That already puts it on an A tier alone. I would put an S tier, but like it feels kind of unfair. Like I guess to the S tiers because, it's
their original project.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Bedlamp.
Well, no,
Bedlamp is a mod. Bedlamp is a mod though. But to be fair, BNP, I would say. One thing that really is impressive is, because Undertale mods used to be so limited in what you could do before proper tools and understanding of it were available. Like, you couldn't have sprites be any bigger than the Undertale sprites you were replacing, whereas now, like, you can do so much awesome stuff. I think high A or somewhere in S is a perfectly fair placement.
You know what? The new fights that they include, the Mirror and the Trouble Boys, I think that's an S tier.
Yeah, I would say since they're both mods, maybe slightly above Bedlamp, but Bedlamp is still great.
I'll say, and here's my thought. In terms of actual quality, Bedlamp would probably be an A or B, but in terms of how much we all mutually love it in our hearts, it should be an S.
Yeah, Bedlamp is just a joy.
Yeah.
Undertale, F tier. Okay, no.
Undertale definitely S for being the best Undertale crossover AU. Don't at me. Also, just so much care and passion, and it's so sad that it got scrapped because of the fandom. It's like, Undertale deserves so much better. There was so much promise. Frickin' Pennington, fantastic.
Everything about Undertale was a joy. I just miss it so much. I always cry. Put that up there.
I would say the main weakness Undertale has is the older chapters really don't hold up as well, like the early Cool Forest, because it was made at an earlier time, so it did lean a little bit harder into Undertale plot structure, but still had that Mario flair even in the original Ruin.
I mean, they were starting to reboot them before it ended.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate they couldn't see it through. I think high A or somewhere in S is... Yeah, that's a pretty good placement for Undertale.
Right.
Yeah.
Undertale Yellow demo. Like, I was testing the demo for Teen Siege Underswap, but
we're only judging the demo. Not the rest of it that I so desperately would love to see eventually.
Yeah, the demo that's about right now.
I would say Undertale Yellow is a solid B. There are a lot of writing and lore problems I have with the ruins and what's available in the demo, but it still has a lot of...
Yeah, I think the fact it's like
Yeah.
a fully playable demo puts it above every other thing on here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it's got to be in B somewhere. The project clearly has a lot of love and passion going into it. My biggest gripe with Undertale Yellow is just the whole thing of Flowey even being there really feels contradictory to the Undertale lore. And I know they said that it wasn't confirmed in Undertale, but I feel like it kind of indirectly was, because it's implied that all of the other humans could save and load, in addition to the fact that it's been a long time since the previous human fell, even tutorial. And so I think that plus the DT experiments...
You know, that's kind of a nitpick at best, right?
Right.
True. It is a nitpick because this was made in a much earlier point in the fandom, and it's still got some great stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's some things that would allude to, you know, humans being able to save and load, but I wouldn't say there's that much. And even so, even with that in mind, it's not necessarily the case that all of the 6 humans could save and load.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
so-
wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say Undertale Yellow directly contradicts Undertale in any meaningful way.
Right.
I would say my biggest problem is just Flowey, just because it seems that ET experiments were really recent, and while Flowey did tons and tons of loads and stuff, yeah, well the thing too is Flowey doesn't say anything about having met any previous humans.
Yeah.
And I think
Anyway,
that's... Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I don't-
So high B. That's where it's at. So
Yeah.
X-Tail.
I do look forward to more. Oh, X-Tail, I think somewhere in A or B is perfectly fair. It's a really interesting project, and I like that it's not just Sans. And in fact, I would say the animations, if anything, focus less on Sans and more on Kara, Frisk, and Gaster, while still having other characters play an important part.
Yeah.
And
The original comic was Sans focused, but like the actual animated version isn't.
Yeah. SKL does bring a point that the problem that she has with Yellow is that it prides itself on being lore compliant. I would say, I'm sure they'll have like a more detailed timeline. They talked about it on their Game Jolt, and I think the original elements that are coming in the subsequent areas and all that.
Right. All
To
right.
be
But,
fair, Undertale Yellow also comes from a time where not many AUs were lore compliant.
Yeah, that's very true. And it was, like, the demo is 5 years old, too, so, like, we gotta cut it some slack for being made at a time where the deeper lore of Undertale wasn't as dissected or discussed.
Right.
And changing that kind of thing this late into production would probably be really hard. But anyway, X-Tail, I would say it should sit at least up there with Epic Tale, because both are pretty similar in scope. And
think-
so...
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like people like Mecha was saying, like, shouldn't it be like in all one sync package? Well, no, because X-Tail is just like a really like sure it has a Thunderburst, but it's also like a pretty good standalone thing, you know.
Yeah, like, it
I
ties
think-
into Underverse.
It ties into Underburst, but you know it's a prequel, so but like it's not something like it's sort of like saying that it's sort of like Sonic 2 to Sonic 3 on Knuckles, you know. Like Sonic 2 is the prequel to Sonic 3, but like Sonic 2 is still pretty good, you know.
I feel like judging it as its own story, it's good, but it's also very sad and just keeps getting worse.
Yeah. It's sad. And
Like,
it's
if you're
sad.
just judging it without even thinking about Underverse, I might put it lower in thinking of it like that.
Yeah, it's really tragic, but I mean it also has good character motivations.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think the meta commentary angle with Gaster basically being analogous to a content creator who keeps rebooting their project because they're not satisfied with the story is something that's pretty clever.
And that they also lose focus.
That is
at the
clever.
end. It's really good, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Gaster is a SoundCloud user.
Oh gosh.
God. But yeah, would you say?
Yeah.
I would say it's better. Is it better than Epic Tale?
I like Epic Tale more because just from what I've read, I just find it more... It's less focused specifically on just a couple of characters and seems to have a wider usage of the cast. So I think I like Epic Tale a bit more than
Yeah.
Undertale, but both are pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'll put it over here. I think this is fair enough. I mean, it's not as funny as Undertale, but also tells like a much, you know.
It's a more complete story at this time, and also it's animated and
Yeah.
animation hard.
Yeah,
Animation hard.
yeah,
Can't forget
Oh.
that.
yeah.
I think Alive needs to sit in A rank because it is just really well done, freaking creative. The fact that it actually is one of the only fan projects that makes Alphys a main character, and a really cool Alphys.
Yeah. I also didn't think that any fan project could make me like Insane Sans, but they found a way.
It wasn't the Insane Sans, it's just like another, it's Insane, but you know, I would say Alive is like S tier. Just,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think S tier is fair. The thing with Insans is I went in really apprehensive about Insans, but then they actually made him really sympathetic and likable, and he wasn't just haha, kill, kill, edge, edge, murder, murder. His killing thing was specifically directed at humans due to the trauma he went through at the hands of the player character. And so, but he doesn't really hassle monsters that much anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
I think S tier is about right. Dust Tail.
Yeah.
F tier.
Oh, I would say a D or F for Death's-Tale, honestly. It just feels like such a big... I think maybe slightly higher than something new, but both of them are just really meh to me.
I think the F tier needs a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Put it in.
Yeah, I think.
Okay,
look,
so...
F tier is just about like, look, Dust Tail just doesn't really make sense. Like, I mean, it's a cool idea, but like, it's also applied to Sans, and like, Sans isn't really used to conduct as a character to this sort of stuff. Like, I don't like they try to make it work with some justification, but like, this day at the end of the day, it's just not good. Like it's a nice endeavor, but I'm also just can't get into it.
So people are asking about Alive. It's a little bit hard to sum up, but basically it's an AU that follows an Alphys from a genocide timeline where...
I'm going to link it and just leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Alphys reaches out to a bunch of other timelines, and fun times happen. Anxious
Yes,
times.
The cast of
Alpha
outcodes... The cast of outcode characters is easily the most unique outcode cast I've seen in any multiverse Undertale fan project, because
Yeah,
it's not
just
just a bunch of
just-
Sanses. And the one Sans that is there does not steal the spotlight. He's just part of the ensemble.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's tackle. How about? I don't know. You want to tackle something that is in order? I don't know. Whichever you want.
I think we
Omega
can.
Timeline, Poppy's story.
All right.
Freaking cute. I
Yeah.
think Poppy's story sits comfortably in the B rank. It's very cute. It's one of the most unique multiverse projects because it's not really about big antagonistic forces. It's just a little slice of life with a cute cast of characters and plays with the concept of the Omega Timeline in a way that really fleshes it out. And I think that in that respect it should sit maybe around where Marlette is, because so far there's been little snippets of main story that are really juicy, but I think the fact that it's kind of mixed in with the asks can make like following the entire story progression a little trickier for some people, is what I've seen people talk about. I need to like read more of the asks. I've seen some of the videos, but I've liked what I saw.
Did you see the
According-
Storymaster post? I mean, yeah.
Legally, I am required to say it's S tier. That is part of the contract I signed. But, you make valid points.
Yeah.
I'd say, we have opinions on Villain Santa Squad, I'm sure.
Oh,
And I
let's see.
feel bad.
Oh, wait, where is? I just
It's
linked it, Bone, to just go up.
Yeah, tatatail.tumblr.com.
Yeah, it's a really enjoyable read. I binged it, and I'm really excited to see where it goes next.
Also,
it's fun.
Oh man, I don't know how to tell you this. Yeah, I think should we talk about Villain Sand Squad just now? Because let's just talk all the Sans focused things first.
Yeah. So the thing with Villain Sand Squad is animation hard, and the latest episode did have genuinely huge improvement in the production value. My friend Sudsy, who is also the voice actor for Inverted Fate Papyrus, was in it as Error, and I can respect the care that goes into making a project like that, but The big
F
problem,
tier.
it doesn't research the AUs it tries to include. It really doesn't. It doesn't really care about the canon they came from. Like, Story Shift was super mishandled. But it also applies to other AUs, like Horror Tale Sans is just like, for some reason, he's super duper murder happy, when I feel like Horror Tale Sans is a bit more nuanced than that in the actual comic.
Yeah.
It's not even just that. I just watch it and my eyes glaze over.
Yeah. It just feels like... The
Look.
problem is, it doesn't really try to have a story until, like, the most recent episode, and otherwise it's just a bunch of fight scenes without really much narrative thrust.
Here's the thing, right? Like, Bill Sans. They tried to sell a serious story with, like, these epic stances, but, like, Bill Sans. Like, you're telling me trying to sell me something serious. Doesn't even respect Dreamtail. Like...
Bill Sans is the best part of that.
God.
What are their motivations? Why are they working together? I feel like these characters wouldn't really work together.
They don't.
You know,
Just don't. Yeah.
I don't think Arrow would really give a crud about what Nightmare has going on, and then Dream just being corrupted and evil because it's very odd.
Yeah, I think the issue it has, we're going to talk about this with Underverse, right? Like, it doesn't, actually, no, Underverse doesn't have this issue, like, it doesn't really care about introducing these characters. Like, I get Poppy has that issue, but, like, at least Poppy is just, I don't know, at least a bit better at introducing characters. Does that make sense? Like, if I didn't know about half of these AUs, I wouldn't have any idea what's going on. Like, it's a very niche story, I guess.
Yeah. But, it knows who its audience is.
I have no personal ill will against the creator. I respect that this animation takes a lot of effort, and like I said, the production value is commendable. It's just like, the core concept really is not for me. And I think Underverse does the concept of all these AU Sanses coming together in a more captivating and engaging way. Even if, like, the core concept wasn't for me, I feel like I could still get invested in Underverse because it was just handled well.
Yeah, Villain Stand Squad, again, just no emotions attached to anything, even knowing what everything is.
We were watching it, look, I was trying to get invested, but, like, I don't know, man, it's just like a group of Sanses. Like, I can't take a multiverse Sanses seriously, at least not, look, something with, I don't take it seriously with Underverse either, but at least Underverse gives me a reason to care about the stakes. I don't know what the stakes are in Glitch or I don't know, and with Bill and Sand Squad. I don't know what the stakes are.
What are our opinions on
Disbelief.
Disbelief?
Okay, we can. Right, Disbelief. We'll do that in another stream. I don't have them.
Troll has an interesting point. So apparently Villain Sand Squad wasn't originally meant to be a series. It was just a bunch of unrelated Sans animations that were strung together later as the series took form. So that gives it a bit more context, and I do agree that their skills have improved a lot since they started.
There's improvement, yeah, but
it's just the writing just really
the skills
doesn't
have
hold up.
improved. I think they should do something else with those skills.
I think they should try to take a bit more care in researching the AUs they incorporate rather than just going off of the fanon,
Yeah, Story Shift is a big stickler for me. Yeah, Story Shift, just how Story Shift was treated on that thing is just enough justification for the F tier. Personally.
Anyway, something new. Honestly, I would say it's right down there with Dusttail. I would put it over Underswap. Genuinely. I personally just can't.
Yeah, something new has problems, but it is, it's above Dusttail. I can see it being above Underswap.
It makes at least a bit more sense than, I don't know, Underswap.
Yeah.
For me, my problem is I just can't see Sans in any circumstances going along with Kara being like, oh hey, kill so you can feel something new. It just feels like such a stretch that even Underswap Sans to me, as much as I dislike Underswap, the characterization at least doesn't feel as painful in that, like, the whole AU was built around swapping personality aspects, whereas something new, it's like, it just feels so edgy for Sans to be gaslit and pressured by this literal child to kill his own brother and then kill Grilby and all these other people.
Just for the lore, I would put Horror Tale in S instead of C. Did you see the last like 20 minutes? I don't know when we started talking about Horto, but like, dude, Horto's lore is like really weird. I wouldn't like. I guess it's interesting for some, but like it doesn't really make sense to me. Like, why would the
That's
core?
fair.
Why would the core like be what monsters use to like feed or something? You know.
Yeah.
And also, don't even get me started on Horrorsense because he's just God.
I think Horrortail as a narrative, if you can ignore the lore contradictions and weirdness, it's still a really solid comic, and I respect the effort that went into it.
Yeah.
But
Something
the
new is
problem,
Killer Sense, yeah. It's, the sense that everyone makes Nightmare Stance is lackey for some reason. I think something new is basically an EU where like, there's a lot of genocide routes, and Stance is just like kind of dead.
yeah. Well, see, the
Yeah,
thing, Zeron, is
inside.
that I think Horrortail being connected to Undertale's neutral route kind of works against it because it tries to tie itself to Undertale in the lore. On one hand, that's a cool concept. On the other hand, it's a little weird in the whole famine thing. We don't really necessarily have reason to believe that the core is gonna cause that when monsters presumably didn't have the core for a while when they were underground and still got by and still had food and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward, but it's like something. I can't be too mad if it establishes it and then
Yeah.
it's allowed to diverge. In my opinion.
Yeah, Horrortail at least tries to make sense of it. I think it's a solid AU, but it was just kind of like...
And Sans doesn't
I'm not gonna
break
act like
Sans himself just brings the AU down to C tier, personally. Just Sans himself, just what he does is like so damn stupid, I can't even...
It's incredibly selfish, and Alfie's
Yeah, but-
deserved better.
That is kind of the point, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm surprised you're putting something new that high, because, like, for me, when I tried to read it, I was just like, this makes no sense for the character, I cannot see this being a thing that Sans would ever do, and to that end, I saw it as basically just Dust Tales, but slightly different.
Yeah, but like, at least there's like a gradual thing, and
Yeah,
like, at least I can appreciate that. It's not like...
that's why it's Dusttail, but slightly better.
Yeah, and I would say it's at least better than... At least I would put it about Undertale, because at least it doesn't straight wash Undyne.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't straight wash on
Actually, we should put Undertale on F and just move everyone up over, because at least they don't straight wash Undyne. And just kill her off, but yeah, right? Yeah, but like, at least they don't straight wash her.
Yeah, I think
There
that's
we
a fair point.
There we go.
Okay, Last
Wow.
Breath is hard for me to rank because, full disclosure, I haven't played it, I've mostly just heard about it, so it's someone else who's more experienced with Last Breath.
I have played I've been Phase 1. I tried to do Phase 2. I couldn't. Phase 3 is impossible.
Yeah,
No one has ever beat it for real. Everyone who tells you they have is lying.
Yeah, Monster Last Breath just continues the trend of like genocide battles just being like literally impossible. Like they flip the screen, they have like really strong like video effects, and just like I don't know, man. I don't get what people like about it.
Oh, someone's saying there's some audio problems, like static or something?
Let me check. Maybe.
Tell me if it's on my end, but
In a second. I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna listen to the stream. FX, and just like, I don't know, man. I don't get what people like about it. Okay.
Oh, someone's saying there's some audio problems,
Okay,
like
give me a second,
static
I'm
or
gonna turn on
something?
the...
like
let me check.
those kind of fights. It's
Okay,
playable battle.
Okay, so like, from what I'm seeing, I don't know really. Probably it's my end, but like, I don't know. Can
Yeah,
listen?
you guys
Yeah, so-
sound fine to me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have the audio for the YouTube video playing, I'm just listening to the voice chat.
For last breath,
I think the thing with Last Breath, like, it's...
yeah,
I guess it's a fairly interesting
People
idea.
like it less for the story and more for the fun of the fight.
Yeah.
Although it is ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
I just am not big on a lot of Gaster stuff, to be honest. So, like, the whole Gaster being involved in this fight and all that just... Again, I don't know enough about the AU to judge it fairly. This is just based on what I've heard about it, so I probably shouldn't really weigh in on the ranking too much, but...
He shows up in Phase 3.
Yeah.
and then kicks your ass.
And then you kick his ass. But yeah, I think I would just put it like... I don't know if it would be better, but actually I would put it above... I would just put it under 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Under Horror Tale sounds reasonable enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And second...
Because, even judging it as a fight, it's not a fair fight. Phase 1 is about as hard as regular Sans from canon, and then Phase 2 and 3 are just ridiculous. I don't know how you're supposed to do them. How an average player is meant to do it.
Okay, the static is apparently really bad. You might want to check your OBS settings.
Let me check.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a second. Hello. Give me a second, guys. I'm just like trying to...
Because, even...
Okay, I'm not sure. Let me just...
Judging it as a fight.
Hello, can you hear me now? I'm going to unplug and replug that. Alright, what about now? Hello, can you hear me now? I'm going to unplug and replug that. Alright, what about now? Alright, there we go. Alright,
And now it's gone.
Alright, I just fixed it.
Yay!
Alright, yeah, I just fixed it. It was...
Oh no, static's
okay.
still bad is what they're saying, but...
Oh yeah, it got worse.
Alright, I just fixed it.
Yay!
Alright, yeah, I just fixed it. It was... No, okay,
Oh
I
no, static's
just...
still bad is what...
Okay, I just got it.
Okay, it's gone now.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, we did it. We got
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Alright, now that... We're going to start the song again.
Beautiful.
Undertale. I think that would be somewhere in B rank, personally.
Yeah,
Undertale...
Undertale is...
Undertale is a good comic.
Yeah, definitely just on the... I would put it... Personally, I would just put anything over my age, but you know how it is. I think...
people are asking why Last Breath is ranked higher than Glitchtail.
Well, because it's a playable fight, and you know, like maybe it's
Last Breath doesn't fridge Alfie's.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
it just kills
Well-
her. So you know, it's slightly better.
Last Breath it's meant to be a fight, and it's a fight.
Exactly.
For what I kind of judge it on
we got someone we should probably
how good it
ban
was
from
at
the
trying
chat.
to do the thing it did.
There's someone who's got a really offensive username.
Let me just...
Mr. F. Slur and Slur. Probably...
There we go, I did it.
Okay, because I still see them in the chat.
I just undid them, so don't worry.
Okay.
I
Cool.
think, unless somebody else appeared, no, nobody did. Okay.
Okay. So somewhere in B for Aftertale we good with? They're still posting FMS. You might want to just block them and ban them from the chat.
Oh, okay. Let me
Yeah.
just... how do I do that? Do I just hide user or...
Click. I
Get
would
them out of
say,
here.
yeah, click on the ... dots on their username, and there should be an option to ban them from the chat, and then delete their
just
messages.
says hide user of this channel.
Yeah, that should work. Anyway, no, I'm not going to make a 10-minute video bashing Last Breath. I don't know nearly enough about the project to
There we
fairly judge it.
There we go, I think that did it.
Yay!
I would just say Last Breath in general, it's more about the fight than the story.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Also,
Yeah.
if it's being reworked, then that's also going to be a factor too.
But
Anyway,
as it is right now, I will just leave it over. I would, I think I'll. Okay, I guess I think it does need fight. I mean, I haven't been able to beat it myself. I had to watch a video just to get the full grasp of the story. So
Yeah, I don't. Again, nobody in the world is actually being it. It's all lies.
It's more rooted in Undertale than Ink, Fresh, Green, so I think it has that going for it, at least.
Yeah. At least.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Aftertale, B rank, yes?
yeah. I played the old version that I had downloaded on me, so maybe that was it. Okay, maybe later I'll look into it, and maybe if I change my mind, I'll post when I post the tier list. I'll have updated last spread. Okay, anyway, Aftertale. I was thinking B tier.
Yeah, B tier seems fine.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Is it better than Marlet?
I would say because it's a complete story, it would probably be a little higher, but Marlet is still baby.
Yeah. Is it better than Hand? Yeah. I think I'll put it. About here sounds fine.
Yeah, I think that's good. Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Alright. Underburst.
Underverse, I would say B or A.
Some good shit. I'd put an A. It had some. The beginning parts aren't the best, but it's gone a far way, and it seems like it's only gonna get better from here.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling A.
It has my special boy in it.
Yeah. It has.
It has many special boys in it.
Yeah. It has Poppy, so instantly S tier.
It has Poppy, instant S tier. I mean, come on now.
I think definitely A is good because it's really impressive, and the thing is, its animation is really good.
Is it better than X-Tale itself?
I think that's a little harder to judge because I think as a standalone story, X-Tale interests me more because it's not just focused on AU Sanses as the focus.
Yeah. Then again, the events like straying away from Sanses, but maybe like we're not there yet where it's like no Sanses at all. So I think I would put it like over here.
We know like nothing about. Well, I know nothing about Fatal Error because it's not the kind of AU I personally would go out to seek. I'm not really
I've
into
seen Fatal Error, but like again, we haven't like added every under the sun. So
yeah. And the thing is, for me personally, I just don't care about Outcoat Sans AUs. They're really not my thing. So the fact that I was able to enjoy Underverse despite that really speaks of its quality because normally someone's, that person is back on another account.
Ah, Jesus. So do I
Amazing.
just put them on timeout, or how do I remove them for real?
Just
Just hide user?
hide message, block them, and hide user.
Right, so how do I block them is the thing.
It should give you the option when you highlight it on their, the dots on the right of their username.
Yeah, but it also says report, remove, and put user on timeout, and hide user.
Yeah, I would say block and hide user, just do that.
It doesn't let me block is the thing, so I'm not sure how to do that. Oh, maybe it's because I just need to put myself on YouTube Studio. Yeah, maybe that'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so since I'm professional, there it is. Oh wait, no. Okay, I'll just hide the user and that's it. There we go. Anyway,
Alright.
concerning people.
Undertale humility.
Yeah. I think humility is a solid B. It hasn't gotten very far, but the concept is cute and unique. I feel like there are some issues with like grammar and text placement.
Yeah.
But for what it is right now, especially because all of the maps basically have to be made from scratch, that's really impressive. Yeah. And it's got a creative spin on giving characters like Muffet more focus. That's pretty cool. You don't really see
Toadie
a lot.
is in it, which makes it very good.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'd say it's not very far in its story.
I'm not sure if I would put it above Marlet.
I'm not sure, but it's definitely a solid start to a promising project.
Yeah, I think I'll put it on like mid B tier, just below Marlet, because
I think I like Union of Two Hearts a little bit more, but I would say around that area is fair.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Alright, so last one.
Last one is Final Flowers.
I think
Oh my
at least
god.
I think at least an A for Fallen Flowers. It's
Yep.
really gorgeous, really creative,
Fallen-
and I'm
I
So
like
curious.
sprite comics, but every now and then you miss that hand-drawn stuff, and that's some good hand-drawn stuff.
Yeah, I think it's really good. It has like a really interesting plot, even if it's in hiatus right now,
Yeah,
right?
I'm feeling straight A for that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there is at least art being posted for it by the creator as of like 2 days ago, so it might return soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually really good to hear that it might return in the future.
Yeah. But you're
The
right.
last release was in September, so I heard there were some problems like a house fire, so it's probably on hiatus for a little bit. But
Oh look,
hey,
he's back.
Gosh, guys, I'm going to like fix just a bit.
Let's ban him again. It'll be
Jeez.
funny.
Man, this is a really funny moment, you know.
well, hey, we've question mark finished the tier list.
I
Correct.
suppose.
So yeah, this is our personal ranking. Obviously, this is all super
Wait.
subjective.
Wait, did I put the blogger? Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
I think we've wrapped up nicely, and it's like only like 2 things. But
Yeah.
yeah,
there
I
are
was-
definitely some. Oh, go ahead.
I need to like 20. Yeah, I need to like fix a bit, but you know, keep going. We will keep talking.
I definitely think in the future, if we were to do this again, some AUs we could consider putting in the ring. Negative Tail, because it is a complete sprite comic AU. The main problem with reading Negative Tail is we would need to read the text translations to go with it, but I think it is
Disbelief,
worth acknowledging.
Helptail, Ribbit.
True.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
Deltarune AUs are a little bit trickier, but Ribbit is really cool. Dogs of Future Past is, I'm surprised
Oh,
they left that one
absolutely.
out.
Paper Trail too.
Yeah,
It's another
Paper Trail.
Deltarune, but I mean,
There
a
we go.
Delta
I think-
Experiment.
We might have to do Deltarune stuff as like a separate thing simply because it's a huge
I mean-
can of worms if we start combining Deltarune AUs and Undertale AUs.
They-
But Delta Experiment is technically, it features Undertale characters, so I think...
There aren't that many Deltarune AUs in general, is the thing.
Yeah.
It's mostly Undertale AUs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely...
Feels like it'd be a small tier list if we did just Deltarune.
Fracture Tail would be a good one to include. I know that X is still very hard at work on that one.
Yeah.
Would we want to include more AUs from the Sprite Comic Contest, since we didn't touch upon ones like Deflowered or that one about Lancer's birthday party?
Yeah, that would be neat. I think there's
Yeah,
like, that's a lot one to consider.
What other AUs are big ones to consider?
Yeah, Force Suits isn't out yet.
Gosh, I feel like there was another one that I was like, oh, how did we forget this? And I'm trying to remember what it was, and I hate that I'm forgetting it. Giddies. What's the other big one?
Dogs of Future Past.
Oh yeah, Dogs of Future Past,
Yeah.
Negative
I think we
Tail is... Yeah, I mentioned Negative Tail as one. If we want to
Someone
look
brought
at,
up
like,
Delta Swap, which is... I mean, there's not that many. There is the one that's, like, all music.
The thing with Delta Swap is that there are so many interpretations of Delta Swap, there is no, like, one singular Delta Swap. Although, that being
Yeah.
said, though, Fell Swap Gold would probably be one, as well as Purple
Oh,
Swap Fell.
Undertale, yeah.
Yeah.
Undertale, definitely another one to look at if we do another tier list. Well,
Off-Tail.
Off-Tail, yes. Off-Tail, because it is, like, one of the only fully completed Sprite comic AUs, along with Negative Tail.
Next time I'll try to do more work in terms of researching these, if we do a second one.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
So-
next time I'll be feeling better, my hands won't be hurting as much, and it will be
I
easier.
forgot your hands were hurting. Sorry about that.
Well,
It's a little better today. I just really got super bad wrist pain after editing my most recent video,
yeah.
and so that was...
Oh,
So like
Salt Root and
harsh
Salt Root
dude, harsh realities isn't real anymore. You need to accept it. It's been like gone for years, dude.
I miss harsh realities.
So sad.
Yeah.
Salt Route and Prunzel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Prunzel would be a really hard one to rank because other than the main concept, there isn't really much more to it other than this character exists.
I mean,
but I guess Chips
I don't know.
is like that too.
There's a lot of apples to oranges on this list. You know, I
Yeah.
think that's
Very
just the way it
true.
is.
Yeah.
Gosh, what AUs do people talk about in circle? Because that would be a good indicator
maybe
of
we
things
can just
forget.
maybe when we do an next cheerless stream we'll figure things out. But yeah, any last minute fixes that y'all think should be done?
I think
Put
this
something else in
ranking
F
is
tier. Choose a sacrifice.
True. So well, do we
Yeah.
put Bill and do we put I mean
Send Dusttail down into the nether realm.
true, but like it doesn't like straight wash.
some people are talking about like Soulfell and how high I'm trying to underfell. I think maybe like
I mean, it's F tier, not straight wash tier. You know?
True, good point. Actually, I'll fix that. Okay, but yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's fair enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of different versions of Underswap and Underfell. We could maybe look at a couple others like Soulfell and High I'm Trying to Underfell, as well as MH Underswap. Disbelief, definitely, because that's one of the biggest, probably one of the first AUs, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, this question of do you judge like the original Disbelief or the video by what was it, Flames at Games?
I think the video at this point, because that's what it's most known for, whereas
It's the
originally
new
Disbelief
canon
was
one,
just
yeah.
a concept.
Yeah, it kind of took over
It's a new
Disbelief.
canon because the creator of Disbelief gave the new canon to I forget the guy's name, but yeah.
Yeah,
But we
just-
are not putting plagiarism the AU on our next tier list. I'm sorry to any fans of that AU.
What did somebody else ask?
Just put it directly in F if you want.
Someone had asked for Catastrophic Endeavors, which, like, for those who don't know what it is an AU that had repeatedly stolen sprites, writing, and other things from Inverted Fate, Undertoad, Scramble Saga, Story Shift, like tons and tons of creators within the sprite comic sphere. And we had confronted the creator multiple times, and then he would reboot with some of the theft gone, but not all of it. And this happened like 3 or 4 times until he eventually owned up to it all and quit. And I'm glad that he has owned up to it and doesn't want people to harass me, but also, it's just not an AU, I think.
Yeah.
We would want to
Yeah,
include.
good point. We should also look into Undertale, the other soul colors. Yeah. I was just trying to cover the general basis, and I would have to play all I would have had to play all the fan games because Dark couldn't. So yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't play the fan games because my hands are still healing from wrist pain. They're a little better. I might be able to start playing games again soon.
Yeah, it's not. This is not a complete tier list.
Ooh. Also, Other Ground. Other Ground isn't out yet.
Yeah, I sure would like to talk about Other Ground.
But
I sure would like to.
it sure doesn't exist yet. But I'm hopeful.
I think
Yeah,
because
also
Inverted Fate has so many chapters, though, that I don't think it would be very feasible to do a tier list for it.
I mean,
because
you just have to read it. Like, bro,
Yeah.
my favorite chapter is chapter 1. The rest are garbage.
Inverted Fate chapter tier list.
Like,
What?
I
What?
still are only the chapters for Papyrus on screen.
Oh, don't forget is another good one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's another one
what
too.
is Undertale RHO? I've never heard of that. Or maybe
I've heard of it and I'm scared by it. I don't know what it is.
I remember there was this whole Undertale West, Altertale West taken bit with Undertale RHO, and that's why I just never looked into it. Or maybe that was Altertale, I'm forgetting. But like, I haven't looked into that. And Altertale, Alphatale is the... Isn't that the one with like the ROC 404 sands?
Oh yeah, we didn't touch upon Reaper Tail. I would say we probably don't want to touch like NSFW AUs like Under Her Tail and Underlust though, because those are a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, we're going to make the
Good choice.
Undertale NSFW AU tier list live stream.
Oh, Delta Traveler too.
Yeah, Delta Traveler is also Delta Traveler will be an S tier.
We should just when we're trying, if we do end up doing tier list 2, we should just rewatch this part of the stream.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I think if
Just
we
be
were
like, "Oh, that's a
ranking,
good one."
I think if we were ranking Inverted Fate arcs, that would be interesting. But boy, that would be a huge undertaking.
You would just have to read Inverted Fate.
Yeah, it's a long project, but it's got lots of juice. Drink your juice and pet your kitties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, we could look at some other, like, some AUs have multiple takes, like Underfell, people are really wanting to know our thoughts on GG Underfell, and some people ask for Soulfell, and so, Soulfell is pretty good, though. I haven't read it in a while, but I do remember liking when I did see. We definitely got to at least talk about the swap fell swap stuff, at least fell swap gold, because those are some iconic AUs we left out. Even though we did Outer Tail, I'm actually surprised that I didn't think to say, hey, what about those one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that,
I think, yeah.
I think with that we're pretty good. Like, I don't know if there's anything else to add at this time other than thanks for watching. We will maybe do some more in the future.
Hanging out.
Yep.
With you both, and the chat, and the tier list.
Yep.
So many
A
AUs.
screenshot now because I will eat the tier list. Like.
Well, yeah.
This pic goes hard. Feel free to screenshot.
FMS is famously hungry for tier lists.
I just remembered Zombie Tail. We could look at Zombie Tail in a future tier list.
Yeah, maybe. That would be neat, actually. Fallen Stars
really
isn't a thing, organic farmer.
It's gonna be really awkward if we don't do tier list 2. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, we left out so many
20
AUs.
minutes talking about it.
Yeah, but
when is the last time Zombie Tail even updated? Oh wow, not in over a year. Holy cow! I guess it's basically
it's on hiatus probably.
The good old indefinite hiatus.
Yeah, but
you gotta love it.
At any rate, yeah, that would be everything.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Don't
Fly's not a good life coach.
Kids, don't forget, kids.
I'm with you in the dark.
God, no, I'm. Okay, that's it. I'm ending the stream now. But yeah, see you all later.
Eat your veggies and brush your teeth.
Look both ways before crossing the street. Bye.
Bye.
And we've ended this.